The importance of teamwork, characteristics, benefits, and the importance of diversity. Teamwork involves groups of individuals working together in order to achieve a common goal. Teamwork is an important part of an organization as workers support each other in relation to personal strengths and weaknesses in different skill sets when completing tasks and projects. So, in relation to teamwork, we have the following characteristics. It involves individuals within groups supporting each other through each member's own unique skill sets. Teams need to be carefully crafted with the following characteristics in mind: a designated member as team leader to kind of orchestrate how the teams are going to work together, and as well as being someone to refer to for support and guidance. Respect amongst all team members, and obviously respect towards their different roles and skill sets. Each member being recognized as an expert in their own role. Tasks being distributed amongst the team so that not everyone is being working on the same thing. Instead, they're being dispersed in different areas, and then all their different work being combined together to complete one whole project or task as a whole. And ultimately, underlying all of this, communication and support really being everything that makes the team and overall organization function. We need to be able to communicate with our peers, with our co-workers as well, in relation to what's going on with projects, what's going on with tasks, and also being able to communicate when we need to support in completing those tasks and getting guidance on what we want out of specific projects. Now, flowing on from this, there are many benefits. Working in teams allows for parties involved to grow through supporting each other in achieving both project based and organizational goals. In relation to goals, teamwork also assists workers in achieving both individual and workplace goals, as workers are supported by colleagues to complete their own work, and that in turn, the completed work that they're working on satisfies their organization's mission. So, getting support from my peers helps me grow and achieve tasks. And what I create for the workplace that I work for, that supports them in achieving their workplace goals in satisfying clients and customers. So it works hand in hand for both individuals and the organization through the use of teamwork. Here are some other characteristics that we also see as benefits to the workplace. Firstly, is greater productivity. When you're working in a team, you're able to support each other, and through teamwork and collaboration, hopefully be able to get products out quicker, being able to find guidance when needing it in relation to that work. A higher quality output, which comes as a result of team feedback. I develop the project, I get my peer to review it, and they can give me feedback on what I've created. And thus, I can then address that feedback in relation to my project and hopefully produce something even better as my final solution. So, feedback being paramount and giving us a higher quality output in relation to my projects. The expertise of my fellow team members helping support individual worker growth. That guidance that they give and their expertise in their specific areas, the worker learns from that when working in teams, and they can take that on board and through their own professional development grow, learn from that guidance, learn from that feedback, and then in years' time move into different areas and grow into leadership. This also helps them develop a greater confidence in completing their work because they are learning and getting the approval of their peers, getting the guidance of their peers, and obviously the knowledge of their peers. It obviously builds a worker's own confidence in developing themselves. There's emotional benefits as well through team members feeling supported by their co-workers and their team leader. Okay, and obviously mental health and well-being being paramount in workplaces, and that feeling of support obviously help nurture that through the growth of the worker and that support empowering them in their industry. And then finally, as already mentioned, that development of leadership skills, that combination of all these qualities that I've mentioned, allowing for an individual to grow or be perceived as a leader in the workplace through their interactions with others. That pathway to growth and that learning from peers and that feedback and all that overall communication that we're talking about, that allows people to be seen as a leader, even though they might not be in a leadership position yet. And that obviously then links to their own professional growth when obviously going for different positions. Now, the final aspect I want to talk about in relation to teamwork is also that of diversity within the workplace as well as teams. So, not specifically just for teams, but overall workplace as well. And diversity relates to workplaces and teams being made up of individuals of different genders, cultures, disabilities, beliefs, etc. Okay, diversity brings benefits as these different aspects of people's characters brings different perceptions and experiences which can aid a workplace in their decision making process, okay, as they're able to satisfy a wider target audiences. Think about it. all these people with different backgrounds, different interests, different characteristics, they represent different members of the community, different groups amongst the community. Thus, their collaborative experience and perspectives helps give a more dynamic input to whatever a workplace is working on. It also relates to equity, meaning that all workers need to be sensitive to each other's differences. It obviously means culturally appropriate work practices need to be in place because the workplace needs to obviously cater towards its diverse worker needs. And they need to have these practices established with staff being trained in effective cross cultural communication. Okay, and obviously that would also be in their code of conduct too, how employees interact with each other and how they need to respect each other's differences. But ultimately, diversity brings with it obviously a wider spectrum of knowledge and of experience, and that can allow a workplace to capture a wider audience, not just one target audience, but multiple audiences, and through its employees, okay, obviously be able to target many different audiences, expanding upon its businesses. So it's a big win for all. So hopefully this video has given you understanding of the importance of teamwork and what some of its characteristics are, and definitely what its benefits are in working as teams for the growth of the individual and the organizations as a whole, and all the members of the team collaboratively working together to achieve those workplace goals.